Okay, so I realized that last video was maybe a touch dramatic, but I was like feeling away, and frankly still do, but let's maybe dive in and explore kind of some of those things. So, what my goal here is, and I don't remember if I said that in the last one or not. I could rewatch it, but I'm not gonna do that. Is to figure out what I like, or what my passions are. Where, thanks, dog. Where do I fit in to all of this? And all of this, again, so dramatic. I can't stop. But let's talk about some things that I do like. Some things that do interest me. I do love horror films. I hesitate even to say horror films, but like genre films, to borrow a term from all of the people that I listen to. Like Michael Varrati comes to mind specifically, podcaster for what is that podcast called? I'll write it down below. Dead for Filth. Dead for Filth is what it's called. But I love genre films. Like, for the month of October, I like to do, like I've done it more than once. I have done this thing that I like to call Spooky Movie Month, where every day, or at least every weekday, there's a different featured film that is a genre film. I chose to call it Spooky Movie Month instead of Horror Movie Month or Scary Movie Month or something like that, because not all of them are scary, and not all of them are categorized as, horror films. For example, Hocus Pocus was in there, and The Covenant, that like hot warlock dude movie from the from the 2000s, somewhere in there. It was really, really shitty, but those are things that I really like to enjoy. I like to deep dive into monsters, really, because again, to borrow kind of a little bit from Dead for Filth, Michael Varrati asks every guest this question. It's just one question. It's very simple. Why horror? And it's left purposefully obtuse and open-ended so that you can answer that sort of however you want. And I've been thinking a lot about that. And for me, I think it is, I have always sort of identified with the monsters. And I don't know how much of that is like internalized self-loathing or anything like that, but that is always something that has really interested me. And it's like, what is the life of that monster? What is their story? Who are they? What are they about? Like, why are they the monster? Do they see themselves as a monster? And things like that have always been really, really fascinating to me. So that is something I would I would like to get deeper into, because if I'm honest with myself, my knowledge of horror is limited at best, to just sort of the things that I like, and those things don't necessarily include classic horror films. For example, have never seen Jaws. Or most of those. Anyway. That sort of genre space is something that I really want to explore. I have all of these ideas of like events that I want to host, and that's probably a thing that we'll get into in another video if I continue to do this. That I have a lot of ideas, and no idea how to execute them, or if anyone even fucking cares. I would love to do more genre-themed nights, like I think of like the Boulet brothers and what is it called, Dragula, that are just these like genre-centered evening. Like really, they're just for fucking weirdos, but they bring their own craziness and campiness and sort of spookiness to it. And that, of course, has evolved over time and become its own thing. But that's something that I'm really interested in doing. And it doesn't necessarily have to be nightlife because I'm not that person. But it is something I would really, really like to explore. Maybe putting on events. I have this idea for like a Valentine's dinner. I would love to do something like super gothy, super spooky. I've run some ideas across, or by rather, some friends, but I don't know. Again, execution is where I run into issues. So I don't know, horror genre things or something that really excite me. And really, I mean, you can see Edgar Allan Poe back there. He lives in my living room. Like that's my guy. So yeah, that's one thing that I really want to look into and see how I can parlay that into my life and maybe figure out something to do with that. I don't know. Let the project continue.